Chances are you're probably already in the community that you want to offer your preschool to. Okay. So you need to check in with that community and say, what do we need? What are we looking for? What can I add to it? Okay. And if they're saying nothing, if they're saying, I love this place and this is the best place. Well, let's narrow it down our niche and let's separate ourselves from that person. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. That doesn't mean that there's not a need for it. That means that there's somebody already doing it and we need to help you narrow it down.
Before joining Preschool All-Stars, she was in a new state after leaving the job she had for 8 years. After joining Preschool All-Stars, she started a bilingual preschool. She now runs a successful preschool with, get this guys, 56 students, with a variety of online programs launching this fall, as well as launching a new local preschool. That's amazing. Tonight, she's going to speak about branding matters, how to niche down to attract your perfect people. Everyone, please welcome our very own Miranda Rodriguez. Let me see those paddles.
All right. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. I'm so excited to see all my all-stars in training. I can't wait to meet all our new all-stars when we get back in the group. Awesome. All right. So yes, Natalie, that is a new development. I just closed my registration last night for summer program and we ended with 56. So that's almost double what we had in the spring. So yes, woohoo. I'm so excited. I am going to be talking to you today about how to niche down to attract your perfect people. Okay. So we are going to be talking about 5 steps that you can do and to niche down and find your perfect people and how I used it to build my preschool. Okay. So we're going to talk about these 5 steps. Find your passion that is backed by skills. Find the market for your niche. Narrow it down. Check the competition and test the market. Okay. So these are all 5 things that I did to build my preschool. And you're saying, well, I already have a niche. I already know what I'm doing. I got it. We're also going to help you to narrow it down. Okay. Check the competition and test it. Okay. If you have a niche that you're so in love with, but you're not full yet, we need to narrow it down to make you full by fall. Okay. So the first one is find your passion that is backed by skills. Okay. This last part here is pretty important. Backed by skills. I am a huge proponent of growth mindset. I know any skill that we don't have, we can attain. But if you want to get your preschool up and running right now, you need skills that you already have. Okay. So it needs to be a passion that you already have the skills to go by. Okay. And so here's some questions that I'm going to go through and I want you to answer them. You can answer them in the chat. You can write them down. You can think them in your head, but I want you to think about these things. And then I'm going to answer them for you how I answered them when I built my preschool. Okay. What do I love to do? Simple. What do you love to do? Don't think about what do I love to do that could be important to preschoolers or what do I love to do with my kids. Just think about you. What do I love to do? Okay. What topic can I talk about for hours? I mean, like if we get you going, you're not going to stop. Okay. So what's that topic? What can you talk about for hours? Okay. Think about it. I'm seeing us thinking, what brings me joy? Okay. What is something that it never fails? If you're having a bad day, you say, hey, I'm going to go do this. And now I feel my joy. I got my joy back. Okay. What is that? Okay. And then lastly, this is the one that's going to relate it a little bit back to our preschool is what do I love to teach or talk about with your own kids or with your students? If you don't have kids, think about the first thing when you go visit your nieces and nephews or your grandkids, or what's the first thing you want to do with them that you just love to do with them? You love to talk about with them. Think about those things. Okay. Here's what I said. What do I love to do? Read and learn. That's just me. I love to read. You can always find me with the book and I love to learn. I believe that we can continue learning throughout our entire life. Okay. What topic can I talk about for hours? My kids. Show me some clapping hands if you can talk about your own kids for hours. Yes, I know you can. Your kids, their goals, what they've achieved. Okay. I can do that for hours. I can talk about my kiddos for hours. But what brings me joy? My family. I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? My family brings me joy. We can come back at the end of the day and we can get together and I feel great about what it is. And then what do I love to teach or talk about with kids? I grew up in a very culture rich family. We celebrated, we celebrated everything. You can't tell me that there wasn't a reason to have a party every single week. Okay. So we celebrated that, and traditions. I am a huge proponent of passing down traditions to my kids, and kind of wrapped up in all of that is language, and specifically the Spanish language for me. Okay. So you're saying, well, this doesn't really tell me what my niche is, right? This is just telling me about myself. That's okay. This sets the stage for the other steps so that we can find out your niche and how to narrow it down. Okay. All right. So you want to find the market for your niche. Okay. So I need our heart emojis for me and my littlest one over here. How cute is she? Okay. Give me some heart emojis. Thank you. Awesome. So find the market for your niche. So you've got these things that you love. You know what you love to do. You know what you can talk about for hours. And here's how you're going to look for the market. The first one is a gut check. If you're a mom, if you're a teacher, whatever, you have an instinct that you're thinking of a certain niche or something that people need. That's what you're thinking of. If you're thinking of it, chances are there's at least one other person that's thinking of it. Okay. So we need to do a gut check. Okay. What is that thing? For me, it was a low pressure, fun, and interactive environment for my daughter. And now I wanted it to be in a second language. So that was a definite niche for me. But these three things didn't always come with learning a second language. A lot of language programs that we looked at were high pressure and rigid and just not fun. Okay. So that was my gut check. That's what I knew I needed for my daughter. So if I'm a mom and I'm thinking of those things, chances are there's probably one other mom like me, if not more than one. Okay. So then we're going to look at that and we're going to overview all of the communities that could benefit from this, that you think your market might be in. Okay. So, there's a variety of what it could be. For me, it was bilingual families, it was homeschoolers, and it was public schoolers. All of those three communities could benefit from what I was thinking about, could benefit from my passions, and could benefit from what I wanted to offer to my daughter. Okay. So now we have an overview of these communities, and now we need to go into them. We need to dive into the communities and we need to do a check. What are they looking for? Okay. What are they needing? And what do they ask about all the time? For me, Facebook runs my business. Facebook gets my enrollments. Facebook is my right-hand man. So when I did a community check, I went into Facebook groups. I was already in homeschooling groups. I was already in bilingual homeschool groups or kids who want to learn a second language. I was in that because that was our community. Chances are you're already in the community for your niche as well. Maybe it's church. Maybe it's your Friday cooking class. Maybe it's, your mom group. Maybe it's your park play date or your hiking date or whatever. Chances are you're probably already in the community that you want to offer your preschool to. Okay. So you need to check in with that community and say, what do we need? What are we looking for? What can I add to it? Okay. And if they're saying nothing, if they're saying, I love this place and this is the best place. Well, let's narrow it down our niche and let's separate ourselves from that person. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. That doesn't mean that there's not a need for it. That means that there's somebody already doing it and we need to help you narrow it down. Okay, friends? All right. So here we are. We're narrowing it down. Okay. So we review our passions, right? Let's go back to those. What are things that you said you were passionate about, that you had the skills to, and that you could bring to your program? Okay. So think about that. What were your passions that you said that you could bring to your program? Okay. For me, we went back to those culture, traditions, and language. that's a part of me, right? So when that came about, that's what I knew I wanted to do. And then you use that research about the market that you did to narrow it down even more. If you're thinking, hey, I want to do a literacy program, right? And, you talk to parents and they're saying, oh, well, she teaches people how to read, really quick, but, they don't get to do a lot of it on their own, or, we don't get a lot of books that are at their level or anything like that. Then, hey, you go in and you can create that same literacy program, but you offer what that program is lacking. We narrow it down so that we can find the people who want to be a part of the community that we're building and the school and the things that we're teaching. Okay. So we use that market research in our community to come back and narrow down our niche. Okay. And then you set yourself apart. You think about what it is, your passions, your market research, and you build a school or a class off of that. You set yourself apart. And for me, it was a bilingual preschool with an emphasis on cultural awareness. That's what sets me apart from any Spanish program that's on the internet or in person right now. Okay. And that's how we found that. Do you see how we found that? We reviewed our passions. We talked to our community. We used our gut, our mom instinct, or our teacher instinct, our grandma instinct, and we went with that to be able to provide for the need that was there. All right. And then we checked the competition. Okay. So now we've got it. We're in. We know what we're doing. We've got our niche. We narrowed it down. And now we have to check the competition. Okay. And you have to do your research. All my new all-stars who haven't been through the 30-day challenge, Joy walks us right through this. Okay. So don't worry. She walks us right through this and you're going to be able to do it, but you have to do it. You have to go in and you have to do the hard work and you have to check programs with a similar mission statement. Okay. So I'm checking for programs that do have that cultural component. And then you're checking programs with a completely different mission statement. Okay. You still want to know what those programs are doing and you want to be able to catch everybody that's not for them, right? If they have a completely different mission statement, you're catching everybody that says, no, we don't want that, right? They coming right to you. Okay. So you need to know what they are, where they're advertising, all of that. Okay. And like I said, our 30-day challenge will take you right through that, to be able to research. And then you test the market. Okay. Joy told us last night, we do not try, we test, and we are testing the market. So we further define our target market. We know who it is. Okay. So now I have my low pressure Spanish environment. So I am targeting parents who also want the same thing. If there are parents who want their kids in 100% Spanish, I can't hear you if you're not speaking Spanish environment. They're not for me. We're not the same. Those are not bad. Those are just different from what I'm going to provide you. So we have to define that target market even more. And then we got to go talk to them. We got to survey them. We have to look at what they need even more than the community research that we did. We need to get out, and chances are that's your community that you're already in. So you need to dive right back in there and you need to survey them, talk to them, see what they need. Okay. Everything. And then we repel all the other markets. Okay. If they're not for us, we're not for them. We don't want them. Okay. And that's just plain and simple, right? That's how we keep our peace and we keep their peace too. Okay. So, and then we repel those other markets. Okay. So I'm going to show you, these are a couple examples of how I brand so that I can attract my perfect target market, repel the other markets, and still let people know what we're doing right from the start. Okay. So these are 2 screenshots from my website. This is immediately when you jump onto my website. Okay. So you can see right here, I welcome you to our website and I say developing a love for Spanish language and culture in each and every learner. I do not say that your kid is going to walk away speaking Spanish in 6 weeks because they're not. They're just not. I can't do that. Okay. If there's some wizard in here who can, let me know. Okay. But that's not what's going to happen. We're developing a love for the Spanish language so that they can continue to learn and want to learn. This is not immersion. This is not 100% immersion. This is not, you're going to be fluent by the end of this. Okay. But we're going to develop a love so that it's lifelong learning, so that your kids don't come to you in second grade and say, I'm so tired of Spanish. I don't even want to do it. And then they're never a bilingual adult. Okay. That's not what we want. Okay. And then below here is our mission. You have to define your mission and you have to do it well. So if that takes you a while, that's okay. But we need to define that mission so that when we market or when people look at our mission, they know who we are. In the end, we make more money that way because we don't waste time with the people who don't believe in our mission. So our mission at Clase de Camila Bilingual Preschool consists of providing a safe, bilingual, and multicultural environment in which children play, learn, grow, and gain the skills needed to be confident, culturally aware citizens in our global society. Okay. I did not tell you again that your kid was going to be fluent by the end of the school year. Okay. Right. So we're attracting the people that believe in our mission. We're attracting the people that want what we have to offer. I also have a couple of examples of how I post on Facebook to make sure that I'm attracting the market that I want and the perfect people that would be involved in our preschool. Okay. So I'm going to start on the one on the right. You can see some popcorn. You can see Central and South America. And this is what I said. Just another reason to love the Spanish language. Look at all the different ways to say popcorn. How does your family say it? I'm not going to tell you what's right or what's wrong or, the REA says this, so we should use this word. No, siree. No. I'm going to ask how your family says it because that matters to me. It matters where you're from, how your family says it. All of those things matter when we're learning about the language as a whole. There is so many. If you speak Spanish or you've tried to learn Spanish or you know Spanish, you know that you could say something in one country and be saying a totally different thing in another country. Okay. So, and there's a stigma sometimes that, one is right and one is not so right. And I don't care. I really don't. I want to know how your family says it. I want to know how you've heard it said before. And this is something that if a person comes onto my Facebook and they want it to be very rigid, this is the definition and this is how we say it, they're not going to come to me. They're not going to want to be in my program. And I'm okay with that, right? Because we're leaving those spaces open for our perfect people. Okay. Now there's one here over on the left. And I'm going to tell you, I got a lot of DMs about this post. And I even went into my All-Stars group and I said, All-Stars, I'm getting some nasty DMs. I need some positive help on my post. And of course, our awesome All-Stars go in and blow the comments up with positivity. But I got some DMs and it was a little controversial. And we know from Joy's teachings that controversial works. It's probably one of my best post engagements ever. And so we were celebrating Dia de los Reyes. So it's, a Hispanic holiday that a lot of people celebrate. And this is what I wrote. So I wrote, Clase de Camila celebrated by discussing how kids around the world celebrate and making our own crowns. Days like today remind me why I do this. There are plenty of programs, apps that will teach your child how to speak Spanish, and they will succeed. Your child will know how to say various words, but what else? What else will they learn? Our mission stands to build culturally aware learners who can become citizens of our global society. Tolerance, acceptance, and awareness. Our kids need it now more than ever. So if those aren't things that you want your kid to know, then you're not sending them to my program, and that's okay. If those are things that are values in your family and in your life, then you're sending them to my program without a doubt. You don't even check the price. You don't even care how long the registration form is. Once I post that, you know that you want to be a part of our program because we share values. And once you let that show, and once you show that to the prospective families, you're gonna get the people that you want, and you're gonna get the people that are meant for your program. Okay. Lastly, I want to show you that you can do all this. You can post your mission statement. You can curate your website. You can post on Facebook, and you can be that person that you're portraying to be, but you have to be about it. Whatever you say that you are, whatever you say that your preschool is, you have to be about it. You can't just talk about it. Okay. So day in and day out in your preschool classes, you have to be about this mission. You have to curate your curriculum. You have to curate your classes. You have to go into the depths of every Spanish curriculum or anything ever made to bring this to your students. And I'm going to show you how we do that. So here's some pictures, and I have permission from all these parents to share. Okay. So up here in the top left corner, we're playing loteria. Okay. Show me your clapping hands. If you're in a family that plays loteria. Thank you. Yep. And you can see we don't use counters. We use beans, because guaranteed when you played loteria when you were young, it's with beans. Okay. So you see all my students get those, and they know how to play. They love it. It's basically bingo. Okay. But it works for our program. Okay. So we play that, right? That brings in the cultural importance. And we have students from other countries that might not play loteria. And we said, well, in Mexico, we play it a lot, right? And now we see the different games that come when we speak the same language, but we do different things. We celebrated, I told you guys Dia de los Reyes. That's in the left bottom corner. We made crowns. We make musical instruments from other countries, and we listen to that music. Okay. We listen to that music so we can see, and we talk about it. We're not afraid of the differences. We talk about what's different from that music than what you hear on the radio, or what you hear. Their favorite is Alexa, right? Or what does Alexa play that's different than, what you're hearing right now? And we celebrate those differences, right? We talk about them and we celebrate them. You can see we have Quetzal up here. They made their little Quetzal birds. Okay. Down, you can see a little Play-Doh creation. That is her creation of Mitad del Mundo. So that's like the middle of the world, the equator. We looked at pictures of the statue that's there, and we made our own creations of that statue, and they love it. And the last one I'm going to show you is our graduation picture. My little Maddox down here, he's headed to kindergarten, and for their kindergarten graduation, they got serape stoles, and serape is the fabric that you see there. We talked about the fabric and how that fabric is made in different parts of the country. And can I tell you, when we had our graduation, they wore those serape, and one of the students said, "Thank you so much for giving me this serape." And then I said, "Oh, you're welcome." And she went on to tell the whole Zoom graduation, her grandma, her aunts, her uncles, about how it's made and what countries it's made in, right? So we're developing this cultural awareness, and we don't just talk about it. We do it. We celebrate kids of other countries. We celebrate differences. We talk about differences. We don't shy away from that. And once we project that onto our Facebook, our website, and in everything that we do, we attract our perfect people, because they see us for who we really are, and they know the values that are instilled into our preschool program. Okay? That's me. I hope that helped. I'm very passionate about it, so I know I get a little, all my all-stars know. But we can niche down, and we can narrow it down, and we can fill our classes once we show who we are.
If you love today's episode, then you are going to love this. I want to give you a free gift in your hands. This is a copy of my book, Start Your Preschool, and I want to get it to you for free. Yes, I said for free. It is a 300-page book. It'll help you learn the step-by-step process to actually starting your local or your online preschool. Every single step that I walked myself through, as well as the thousands of women who've created their own successful preschools, have gone through the exact steps listed in this book. Not to mention, I also share 20 amazing women's stories. So you can see how not only did it work for me, but it works for amazing women just like you as well. I want to get you this free copy. Just go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get it to you today. Again, just go to freepreschoolbook.com and we'll get it right to you.